eclipsing world.
I'm so blessed to meet somebody I've been wanting to meet over the years. My guest today is no other person than Fela Durotoye. Nice to see you again.
Yes, man of God.
I'm so blessed. Let me just ask one or two questions. I've read about you, seen many things about you. What got you into politics, Fela?
Well, there are many stories, but I think that there are two stories that I would give you very briefly that really started my journey towards not just politics, but nation building.
Nation building.
I always say to people, I'm not a politician. I'm a nation builder.
Amen.
And I remember the first one would be when I was traveling through Gatwick.
Okay.
A few years ago, I was going to speak at a leadership conference in the United States. And we had priority boarding. I saw two beautiful couples, or a couple of 70-year-old man and wife, really very distinguished. And they were ahead of me, where the flight attendant was just supposed to just look at their boarding pass, look at their passports, and pass them on. I noticed that they had put them aside. And I thought, what's wrong? What's the matter? Finally, when it got to my turn, I have my passport, my Nigerian passport, and my boarding pass. She didn't even bother to open it. She just put it aside and said I should put it aside. Wow. So I knew what the problem with that couple was. When she passed the few people on the priority line, she then took out a magnifying glass from her desk, looked inside the lady's passport, looked inside the gentleman's passport. When they got to my turn, I noticed, she was looking for at my Nigerian visa, at my US visa. So this is a visa I've used so many times. What are you doing with your magnifying glass that US immigration could not have done with their computers? And so I said to her, what are you doing? She said, I'm trying to verify your US passport visa. I'm a frequent flyer, I'm upper class, I'm da-da-da-da-da. She said, I'm so sorry. My instruction is that as long as it's a Nigerian passport,
Wow.
it doesn't matter who it is. So I remember the thing pained me. And I went on the plane and I typed two tweets that went viral. The first one I said is, ordinary citizens of great nations will forever be treated better than successful citizens of failed countries. I think it resonated with a lot of people. The second thing I said was, individual success in the midst of collective failure will forever be despised.
Wow.
Because it didn't matter how successful I was. It didn't matter, where I was going, that I was flying upper class, it does, none of those things matter. As long as you have a covering of a passport. Think about it, man. Your identity is not on top of your passport, it's inside.
Yes.
So your passport is the first global identity you have before you can have an individual identity. And that, for me, began a journey. To say, look, it's not just about whether Fela is successful or my clients are this, or it doesn't matter what my profile is. What is the profile of my country? And that was my first real initiative. Now, what then became clear to me over the years as I started to find out, why are we not even, we're a blessed country, everybody understands that. Probably one of the most blessed countries in the world.
Yeah.
Why are we having to endure this shame and disgrace sometimes going out in this Nigeria? And I realized it wasn't always so. There is a video that I want everybody to go and check online. It's the video on YouTube. Please check it. It's Tafawa Balewa, the Prime Minister of Nigeria, in 1961 visiting the United States. If you haven't seen it and you're a Nigerian, you're doing yourself a disservice. Because what it will do is to show you the greatness of a nation.
Right.
Where we were coming from. But, like we said, our dead one, for those who understand Nigeria, Yoruba, it means we've fallen for such glory and grace to grasp. And I realized, okay, so something has to be done. What can we do? Well, the last thing I'm going to say is to go from a blessed country, and the blessings of God, it was God who blessed Nigeria. But to go from a blessed country to a great nation, it will take good governance. And good governance is a very simple concept. It's good people in governance. And not just governance, but in governance, in the entire process of governance. So it will take good people to run for office. And when I say good people, people with credibility, with integrity, with capacity and competence, people who have run something well and have capacity to be able to run a nation better. But beyond that, it would also take good people who will not ask for a bribe to vote or will not sell their votes to be able to vote for good people. But it will also take good platforms, like, good parties that will appreciate good people and not tell them to go and sit down at the back, at the corner and say, no, this is the one, this one's turn, is another one's turn, right? It will then take good people to be able to campaign, fund, donate, and be able to contribute ideas. Lastly, it will take good people in the Electoral Commission to be able to make the process more transparent. So 5 things that needed to be done. So I started working on that. And at one point in time, when I go and meet the people that I think should run for office, they will say to me, Fela, I'm not running. Who are the people that will vote for me? You think that the people that will vote for me without collecting money, they don't have voters card. Okay. Then we'll go and meet the people that would be able to vote without asking for money. Do you have voters card? They say no. Why don't you have voters card? They say, I beg you, who am I going to vote for? Is it these people that are here? And so essentially, it became like a chicken and egg. Which one we solve first? And one day somebody said, but if you, somebody like you, if you are running, maybe we will even consider it. I said, And then lastly, one of my core values is be a role model, worthy of emulation. So one day I believe God was saying to me, I want you to step in so that others, I want you to step up so that others can step in. Okay. And I said, Lord, but will I win? He said, you will measure your success differently from how everybody else is doing it.
Yeah.
He says, your success will be measured by how many people go and get their voter's card because of you, even if it's not you they vote for. Your success will be measured by how many people run for office because of you, even if they are running against you. Good people. The third one, how many good people will go and join political parties, even if it is not your party. The fourth one, how many people will contribute ideas, money, and time to campaigns, even if it's not your campaign. And then he said, the last one is, how many people will get involved with the electoral commission to make the process more transparent, even if the process is still not transparent. So it's about the progress, and that has been my journey so far. Again, like I said, it's not about me. Also, I said this. It's not about me. It's about people governing.
Let me just encourage you. Thank you. You're one of the people I've been praying silently for in our country. You are an influencer. You will never know. I never met you before, but I listened to something you experienced over a contract a long time ago, and I said, this guy, these are the kind of people that we are looking forward to. I have great hope for our country.
Oh, yeah.
And I believe that meeting you has not been an accident. Let's talk about values. How can we inculcate the right values in our people? Because time is running out. But what is the best way by which you can inculcate values?
So I've been working on driving values. In fact, we have something called the Values Infusion Program that we're currently running in Nigeria right now. And one of the first things that will happen is that if you're ever going to have values, you have to be able to define values that cut across all the different tribes, that cut across gender, so whether you're male or female, you have to cut across social status, whether you're rich or poor. For you to have values that will drive a nation, those values have to be acceptable to everyone. And they have to be values that will cause people to want to do what those values are by themselves, individually, not because you are legislating it, or because the people find them acceptable. The other interesting thing is that Nigeria does have values, seven values embedded in the constitution, right? Including hard work, patriotism, but those things that sometimes don't translate into behavior. So you need to be able to translate a value system into a code of conduct, into a behavioral code. And we were able to do that as far back as 2008. We got 420 youth leaders from across all of Nigeria. We gathered them into Transcorp in 2008, 420, And we presented them with a set of 10 value statements. And by the time they were done, they agreed and signed up and said, this is the values that our nation will have. 10 of them, very simple. I will make a positive impact on everyone I meet and everywhere I go. No matter who you are, no matter which tribe it is, everybody wants to make a positive impact. Everybody wants their family to make a positive. But I'll go through the other ones. Number 2, be a solution provider and not a part of the problem to be solved.
Amen.
Which means that you will probably, if we adopted that value, Nigeria will become clean in one day because, for instance, nobody will throw paper on the floor for somebody else to pick up.
Yeah. Nobody
will use the toilets for somebody else to come and flush. Nobody will take, all of that. Number 3, be a role model worthy of emulation, which means be the best Nigerian that Nigeria has ever been blessed with. You do what it is that you hope that other people will do, and if they did it, we will have a better nation. Number 4, be your best in all you do, particularly the things you're naturally good at. That is the value that supports excellence. Everybody giving the very best of themselves. Number 5, do the right thing at all times, regardless of who's doing the wrong thing. Number 6, value time and make the best use of it. Number 7, care and show respect to all 3 your words and your actions. Number 8, consciously build a great legacy, starting now, today and every day. 9, live a life of integrity and honor. And 10, make your family, your nation, and your blood proud. I'm sure this is values that each and every one of us would like to. So
there is a problem. Sorry to interrupt. Tell us. We talk about leadership in the country. The leadership of various sectors. I think there's a problem when the nation has a vision and another sector begins to look at the vision in a different perspective. How am I saying? What am I saying? There was a time that the nation had a plan, set up a political program. Election will be this, so, another powerful leader in the country said God has not told him that will be an election. I mean, that country so many people, and the interpretation of that was that so people say, let me just wait, maybe they are not going to an election until today. That's one aspect. The other aspect was the recent declaration of Oshibajo that he was supposed to be at a meeting, a Christian meeting, to be able to defend, his vice presidential something with so, and he was not allowed to enter that kind of thing. If you have a nation, a family that divided against itself cannot stand. If even within Christian something all those arguments, what hope do you have? What hope do you have for the nation?
Let me explain this, and I'll end up very quickly with what hope I have for Nigeria.
Thank you, sir.
I would say politics has always been a very poisonous thinking that rulers use to divide and conquer. Politics is not unique to democracy. You can find politics in families. They use it to divide who's on this side, and then you find a united family that is scattered. Cousins having to choose between this person and that person. That's politics. You find politics in organizations where you say, you don't know how to play the politics, so you can't rise. Begin to see how you find allegiances and alliances that divide the organization. You find politics even in religious institutions.
It's worse.
It is worse, and it's true. So when we say politics, we have to remember the ideation behind politics is that it has always been around how do you take a group of people, break them up, so that you can have a people that will have access to power, and then the others will have the absence of power. Because with politics, shared power is no power. It's like we have to have the power, but you must not have power.
Wow.
And so that's why they call it divide and rule. And what has happened is that Nigeria has been ruled for years. Like the people that we call leaders, the worst thing that we ever did to ourselves was that we called rulers leaders. Yes, and every time a ruler is in charge, they're more focused on power than people. They are more focused on dividing the people, using tribe, using party, and when it suits them, those things don't matter. You realize that once it is in their own interest, they know how to gather the people together. So my point is this, please, let's first start by not thinking that some of the people who are rulers are leaders. One of the ways you always know a leader is that when a leader comes, he unites people around a common vision. A leader gets people to believe that they can solve a problem. A leader gets people to make things better, make places better. That's what makes leaders. That a person has a title or a position does not mean the person is a leader. We have rulers in positions of authority that are not leaders, and we have a few that are true leaders trying to make things happen. One of them is Professor Yomi Oshibajo.
Yeah.
That is a great leader. Not even, it's not, it has nothing to do with his position, right? And you can see that even when he's not in position, he's still making great strides. There are a lot of rulers that once they leave their position, they have to be claiming former this or former that. So what gives me hope is that there are true leaders in Nigeria that have demonstrated great leadership, competence, and capacity at very many levels. There are great people that are making Nigeria still work today. I wrote something almost a year ago. I wrote a treatise called Nigeria Needs Heroes Today, where I have seen people who are working in government without title, without their volunteering, they are not being paid. People that are moving things forward. They are not the ones, they are not there to steal. They have left their homes, they've left their families, some of them left their careers, and people don't know them. What am I saying? My hope is, let us see all the people who love Nigeria, who believe in Nigeria, who want a Nigeria that will be the best place to live, work, and do business, the best place to raise the next generation, a Nigeria that we will all be proud of. Let those people begin to come together and say, how can we, first of all, living to be the best according to the values that we talked about, but more importantly, how do I use those values to influence my circle of influence? And lastly, how do we collectively begin to solve problems of Nigeria? Listen, Nigeria is blessed. The blessing of Nigeria, what God blessed Nigeria with, is still in the ground. It's still on top of it. It's still the people.
Yeah, and the human resources
are amazing.
But I want to thank you for this short interview.
Thank you. I must say, last before you go, sir, every time you want to look for hope in Nigeria, look into the eyes of the children that are close to you, whether they're your children or grandchildren or people. Just look in the eyes and you realize that those ones can still become the very best that Nigeria can ever be. So it's up to our generation. Our generation must conquer our own Goliath, right? Which is all this corruption, in fact, nepotism and those things. It is for our generation to conquer so that next generation can do great things. Thank you so much.
Viewers, I have been very privileged to meet with Fela this morning. Having breakfast with him, you will never know that this is Fela we are talking about. And with this interview, look at the fire is breaking out. We said, coming together, I'm going to invite you to the West Coast, California. Let's begin to build from various sectors that we have, so that we can begin to find ways by which we talk to people, change people's perspective, increase their values and everything. And those of you are listening to us, my appeal to you is, please, every sector you find yourself, let's share this kind of view, let's share this kind of hope, let's light the candle each, and you never can tell what will happen eventually. The light will come back to the country. Again, thank you for your attention. We are the Open Book page. Share, subscribe, and like our channel. God bless you. Good.